I feel like Appa's presence in my life is more like the sun shining that creates a shadow versus him being the shadow that covers my light. I think in the beginning, I was really trying to find my feet in three industries.
Yeah.
And the Telugu film industry was extremely helpful, very lucrative financially, but most of all, they gave me my first taste of acceptance and freedom to grow as an artist. Honestly, ma'am, I've lived most of my career under the debris of rejection. Acceptance came very fleetingly and very late in my career. I also look at an Indian woman as a very special breed of woman because I think this navigating of one place where you're the boss and one place where you're the cog in the machinery, I think nobody does it like us. I really believe this.
Shruti, welcome to the Hollywood Reporter India.
Thank you for having me.
It is so nice to have you here, and congratulations on the blockbuster weekend for Coolie.
Thank you.
Any celebrations yet?
No, just on to the next thing, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's how I've always been, ma'am. Like,
Don't
not much of a
celebrate.
no. No. मुझे डर लगता है. I'm like, अगला काम करो.
Really?
Yeah.
डर किससे लगता है?
I think it's just my general anxiety disorder.
Huh.
Yeah.
You know, this is a very testosterone heavy film, right?
Most
More, it's all men doing their thing.
most of
Many films
Yes.
are, right?
Yes.
Where we're in that time of
Yes.
the event movie led by men. And the character you play, Preeti, is of course a damsel in distress. But there's this one scene where you have this monologue with Deva, played by Rajni sir, where you're talking about money and what you've done. And that scene's all on you. And I was just, as I watched, I was just wondering, what did it take to do that? What were location instructions? Was it scary?
Not scary. I mean, all of it is scary and all of it is not. And it's been like that from day one till today. But Lokesh is very specific as a director about what he wanted from not just me, all of his actors. But in this, the conversation, the lines were a bit different in the beginning. But there is a word in Tamil where I said, you don't understand, for some women, Lokesh, these things are luxuries. And I felt, because the image people have of me is, उसके पास तो सब कुछ है, ये वो फलाना, and I never take that for granted. But I know I paid my own bills for so many years. And I know there are women who relate to that journey of, no, money means different thing to different people.
Yeah.
To some people, it's power, and you're playing at that level. For some people, it is one meal a day. For some independent women, it is the freedom to be able to live a life, So that aspect of that monologue is something I really liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was it though intimidating to have to deliver that long monologue in front of Rajni sir?
I don't know, ma'am. Is it intimidating to say that all the time as a woman every day? No, right? So,
You just channeled life.
yes. Yeah.
That's fab.
I think my intimidating day was the first day, which was the first scene of me yelling at him. So I said, do we have...
the funeral scene.
Yeah.
Oh my
so do we
God.
have to start with me yelling at sir, Yeah, that was intimidating.
And what did you tell yourself to say it's okay to scream at
Kaam
this?
karo, kaam karo. Yeah.
So, I've never interviewed you before,
No.
right? But my sense of you is of this sort of tough goth girl, right? A strong woman, right? And I was thinking as I was watching Coolie that it's so different from who, at least in my imagination, who you are, right?
Yes.
And obviously the task of an actor is to transform.
Yes.
But when you're doing something which is so different from who you actually are, what do you tell yourself? Because I was thinking, like, if it was Shruti in that frame instead of Preeti, she would have kicked ass with the men.
Probably.
है ना?
I'd be like, aur do mera khatka hai. No, I mean, that's the job, I suppose. And I've always been cast extremely different to who I am. I don't know the character yet that I've played that is anywhere close to
How
me.
come?
I don't know. And I think, honestly, ma'am, it's taken many years for people to accept my personality also. And I've not changed much. Honestly, the way I speak, the opinions I've had, how I live, it's been pretty much the same for now 15 years. I think I'm a little more graceful with age, maybe. But apart from that, this uh, personality itself seemed quite abrasive 15 years ago. So I had to be really like, you know, over time, people are like, oh, we like a vibe, we whatever, however you want to put it. So yeah, maybe a bit of that, maybe a bit of I don't not just the roles I'm offered. I've not seen many women like me on screen, played by other women either.
Either. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You know, we, I think, got a sense of your strength in the Thug Life audio launch, right? When you
Everyone
sang.
says that, Mama.
No,
And I go,
it's true. It's true. When you sang that Vinvali
Nayaga.
Nayaga, uh, and you know, I don't even know what you're saying,
Right.
right? But I had goosebumps.
Thank you.
It was just so beautiful.
Thank you.
And you were so just so in that moment, and it really was astounding, and it was so lovely to see Kamal sir just beaming in. It was just such a lovely moment, and I thought when I saw that, you know, what does it take? You know, you're an artist, but you're also the daughter of somebody who's almost transcended being an artist and become an institution.
Mm.
Right? So then what does it take for you to literally and metaphorically find your voice?
Just work every day.
Is that what?
Yeah. I mean, in the beginning, I used to say, no, I don't care about this. I'm just here. But that shadow was there.
Yeah.
Then I was like, do I face it? Or do I just keep walking in my own direction, knowing it's there? I look at it more like, I always say this, I feel like Appa's presence in my life is more like the sun shining that creates a shadow versus him being the shadow that covers my light. So when I flipped my script a little bit and said, I'll just do what I have to do, I've lived on my own for years, I've kind of made all my decisions, good and bad, on my own, then to me, he's my papa first, but then he's also, like he appears to all of you, a great inspiration and someone we can't really be, so we take lessons from. And that's the approach. It's not that it becomes sparklier up close. It's not that it becomes scarier up close, because you've met him, he's disarming as
He's
a human
lovely.
being. Yeah.
Yes,
So he doesn't let anybody feel the weight
Yeah.
of his achievements.
Hmm.
So as a daughter, that was never on the agenda, not with mum, not with dad.
And was there a time when you felt like you had to go a certain way only to kind of emphasize that you're your own person?
Yes.
है ना? Because you have to, because he's just so massive. Like a
Yes.
60+ year career
Yes.
is just like, it's not even a small shadow, right?
Yes. Yes.
It's a massive shadow.
It's a massive one. No, I think in the beginning, I was really trying to find my feet in 3 industries.
Yeah.
And the Telugu film industry was extremely helpful, very lucrative financially. But most of all, they gave me my first taste of acceptance and freedom to grow as an artist. But there was always this stigma around it being commercial. But I never saw it as a bad word. I saw it as a great word, because I think stardom gives you the power and freedom to move into places and make decisions that I'm able to live today.
Yeah.
So that was a very conscious choice, because people had this perception of what this gentleman's daughter should dress like, sound like, look like, act like, behave like. And I very categorically said, no, I won't go the opposite of it. I'll do what I feel is right to my stride, to my rhythm, to my song.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you said something lovely in an interview, Shruti. You were asked about, did you feel that this incredible song that you sang got
Yeah.
lost because the film didn't land, right? And you said that a film is like a love story.
It is.
And just because it falls apart doesn't mean the love was fake.
Correct.
And that's such a beautiful way.
I feel we must all feel like this as creators of any kind. You don't carry a baby for 9 months and put it in the world only for the world's approval.
Mm.
That is a process. It's a growth. It's an ever evolving thing. But the love with which it's made never changes. So I treat every song, every role, every movie like that. Yes, we love it when we get the appreciation. But honestly, ma'am, I've lived most of my career under the I wouldn't use the word weight, say under the debris of rejection. Then I have acceptance.
Yeah.
Acceptance came very fleetingly and very late in my career. So I don't operate on that frequency at all. So what means something to me means something to me,
Yeah.
irrespective.
Of where it goes.
Yes.
But did you have any conversations with Kamal sir later?
Mm.
Was it disappointing for him? Or I wonder if he's at that point where he's really beyond the hits and the flops.
Yeah, I think also, ma'am, you'll notice this numbers and normal people commenting on how many crores and how many box office. This was not the conversation even 10 years ago. It was not something I ever thought of as an actress. Am I in a 200 crore film or am I in a.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanted my last installment of payment and leave, and now the audiences are speaking that way. And I think my dad comes from a time and he comes from a mindset where I know he put all his own money instead of a second property or a third car or a first something. It all went back into cinema. So I don't think that numbers game affects him in the way that people perceive. I think it's a more of a newerish problem. Yes.
Yeah. Shruti, you are a multilingual artist. You're a multi-hyphenated artist, right? You're a singer, actor, composer. And you said music is your savior,
Yes.
but you said that acting has allowed you to sort of discover new parts of yourself.
Yes.
It's pushed you to be a more expressive singer, to be a more connected performer. Can you explain this?
So basically, when I started anything creative in life, the aim was never to act, ever. It was always to write stories, be it in the form of prose, poetry, lyrics. My summer vacations were spent in screenwriting workshops with dad. I don't think he ever thought I would be in front of the camera either, till much later. Somewhere in the way I was brought up in my home environment, I'd conditioned myself to be not to be poker faced, basically. So the undoing of my personality in the film business has been one of the most grueling and rewarding things I've ever been through as a human being. Success, films, screenplay, characters aside, it was so a polar opposite to what I had psychologically conditioned myself to be, that it broke me open as a human being. And when that happens, your music automatically benefits. As you know, all musicians will tell you that dark night of the soul is where albums are born from, is where healing is born from, is where the ability to face destruction is born from. And in that sense, also, I think artists, we have a tendency to be inwards and we can also border on self pity sometimes and reveling in our own narrative and how it starts to sound in our head. So, for me, acting bringing me that empathy for human beings and their journeys, and the fact that how we started this chat of never playing anyone like me. So, having to adopt the emotions and the responsibility of these other women brought about an approach to my music and physical stage performance that I had never ever thought to incorporate.
And what does the music do for the acting?
Very little. Yeah.
Really? How come?
Very little. I mean, the only thing I do is I make a little playlist for a character.
Huh.
Like on Coolie, we had a director who played music for montages and scenes that didn't have dialogue, which I love. If they don't do that, then I listen to it before I go just to be in a rhythm. But it's very superficial. What acting has given to music is much deeper.
And you do enjoy acting now.
I love it. And it took me a long time to get here.
Really?
Yeah.
So when did it change? What triggered that transformation?
I think when I took a break from acting,
There was about a 2-year break, right?
Yeah. A 2-year break. I wanted to assess a lot of things in my life. And I have never missed anyone or anything more in that break.
Then acting?
Yeah, that's when I knew it's something I really, really live for.
Wow.
And then,
And you didn't know this. You didn't know you.
no, I didn't know I loved it this much. Because there
Wow.
were so many pressures and very few people who gave me the freedom to say, no, we think you're fantastic and you do you, and gave me that movement. And every time I had that freedom, be it in 3D Day or Race Guram, I was always appreciated in those roles.
Mm.
But then I still have a hard time navigating people. So I think that got in the way a lot. So then when I took a break, I missed it so much. And then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I mean, this shit is the love of my life level stuff, So, yeah. And then I came back with this vengeance.
And
Sorry.
with, you said Telugu cinema gave
Yeah.
you that first success, right? And then, of course, you've done a lot in Tamil cinema as well. Shruti, why do you think Hindi cinema is still a bit of a gap?
I really don't know. I think I went to the places where the work I got was something I wanted. And it kind of just the focus shifted.
Mm.
But I've always had inquiries from Hindi, and at one point I couldn't manage the dates. At some point I made some wrong decisions in films, which everybody suffers the price of. And now I think even in Hindi films are in a very different space.
Mm.
And I think now with the OTT space and stuff, I feel a lot of things come my way that I'm more interested in doing and I will do more of.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Because you live in Mumbai, right?
I do.
And so, but your work is outside mostly.
Yes,
But that's the way you prefer. You prefer to be here.
yes.
How interesting. Why is that?
I love Chennai as a home. Hyderabad's kind of like another home. But Mumbai to me has been a safe haven that has been my safe haven since I was a teenager.
Mm.
And it also in Chennai when I drive around, like my dad's pictures on the walls and stuff. So I knew very young. I was like, I don't know if this helps in the at least perception of independence when you're first starting out.
Yeah.
Plus, I have a beautiful home here and I have all of my really close friends here. So it's just become my home.
Let's talk a little bit also about the films that are coming up,
Yes.
right? So there's a Hollywood film, The Eye.
Yes.
What can you tell us about that?
So that we got a little stuck because unfortunately our producer passed away unexpectedly. So we're all recalibrating. But ma'am, it was just the best experience because it was female writer, female director, female producer, me headlining the project from a very persistently patient female point of view.
Mm.
We were in no rush to tell this story. We had no rules that apply otherwise. And a friend of mine saw the movie and said, oh my God, I felt like I just read a good book. And that's how I felt making the film, so engrossed, an indie style of filmmaking. I didn't have the chance to break out of character. We had a lovely rehearsal process. The commitment to it and that journey was so beautiful. So yeah, it was really lovely and I can't wait for people to see it.
And then there's The Train with Mishkin.
Yes, I did a small, not a small, I would say it's an extended guest role. I went to sing a song for the film. And then Mishkin sir saw me singing and said, wait, why don't I cast you in this one thing? And it was really fun. And it was really a very unique experience working with a director like him. He has a very Fincher-esque style of,
Yeah, he's very distinctive.
yeah,
Yeah.
making you speak even. I wasn't even speaking like humans speak.
Huh.
So, it was just very challenging but rewarding, and that's coming out soon.
Okay, and then there's a Telugu film with Dulquer.
Yes.
Tell me more.
That even I can't say much, ma'am, because it's like so
It's
early.
all top
Early days.
secret.
Early days.
Early days.
Early days. Yes.
How do you go about when you're somebody who's so fluidly moving between so many industries? Do you have to chase work, or do you tell people that I'd like to work with you or like to work with you, or
I've
does it
started
just come?
doing that.
You
now.
started doing it? You didn't
Yeah.
do it before?
No, not because I had some ego or something. I just was like, oh, I don't know. I didn't know. So I'd be like, I love your work. Now I'm like, I love your work. What can we do?
Huh.
I love this about this. So I treat it more like I treat my music now.
Mm.
And then now I've had some lovely conversations that have developed in certain directions. So yeah, now I'm better at asking for work.
Nice. Is there a sort of a strategy, Shruti, about
Zero.
zero? Whatever you like, you
Pretty
do.
much in life.
Or music, and what's the sort of strategy even in terms of I'll do this much music, this much movie, ऐसा कुछ है or nothing?
Ma'am, the music always suffers because films take that much longer.
Yeah.
So now my strategy is only so now I'm going to get on tour with my band, with my Tamil set, which I'm really excited about, which is a reimagined Tamil set. And so now the strategy is how much work can we get done really efficiently and quickly so that taking it on tour immediately and refreshing it immediately is quicker.
Hmm.
But other than that, no strategy. No.
And is there a priority that you give to either film or music, or it just is whatever is in the flow at the moment?
It has to be like that. Sometimes it's also which film is coming out first,
Hmm.
what are the timelines, which show is coming closer. So I just pretty much wing it day by day. Yeah. It's worked for
It's worked so
16
far.
years now.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
No, it has worked. You know, the thing is, what I find sort of really fascinating and admirable is how open you've been, right? You've never shied away from talking about the mental health challenges, the relationships that didn't work, the work you've had done. You were like, this is who I am. These are choices I made. Shruti, do you ever think that there was a price to be paid for the honesty?
Always.
Really?
But it's a very good price to pay.
Why do you say that always?
Because when you're not, it's not just me. Agar aap general mahal dekhen, if you're not honest, they rip you to shreds.
Hmm.
कि ये क्या बोल रही है, you know.
Meaning the audience?
Audience.
Okay.
Audience, people, social, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to target one specific. Even the range of questions I used to get, the vibe. So then I said, Acha chalo, you know I'm lying, I know, you know, I know, you know. So I was like, सच बोल के देखते हैं क्या होता है. The love and respect I've got for it is absolutely fine for now. You've interviewed so many people from beginning to now. You have seen all our faces. You've reviewed all our movies. Has every face been the same through the years?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yet when I said it, so I'll get these, oh, ye plastic surgery ki dukaan hai, ye wo. But I know what have I done, how much, and I know how much more others have. But that's the price you pay for honesty. It's okay. And I never promote it. This is my choice. These are my rules because it's my life. You know what I mean? So the price to pay is you'll always get pulled down in love, in life, in work. You'll always get the finger pointed at because you're the one who blew the whistle, or you're the one who said the truth first, or you're the one who called it for what it is. But what a good price to pay.
You're just happier like that?
Much, much happier. This is a legacy worth building. Truth. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But do the people around you say, why are you like this?
No, I mean, they're around me. They love me for me now. So they're like, yeah, not surprised. Yeah. Not really. And I think the one thing that has kept me safe, if I have to use that word, is I have zero opinions on other people's lives and choices. What I say is only about me. And you can't disagree with my life. So that's it.
Yeah. Those are
Even my
decisions.
work, I stand by some choices, even though they haven't worked. I stand for all the choices I made, even if people say you should be this kind of actress or that kind of star. No, I mean, I'm okay. Yeah.
You know, you said something very interesting that in the South, people, the stars, the big stars especially, are very humble because there is a fear ki Saraswati ka haath uth jayega. That if you don't have the humility in the face of art, it might just go.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about this?
I mean, it's hard to say my home because there was no concept of Saraswati
That's
in my
right.
home.
Your father is a famous atheist.
Yes. But when I started working, those small things of like Nariyal in the morning and doing that Kapur and Nariyal and having that Bhagwan ka photo in the side, having certain rules about what is and isn't allowed on set. And then therefore the behavior of not just the actor but the staff, how we must present ourselves. I found there to be a higher level of um, awareness, conscience, whatever you want to call it in the South, rather than when I worked in Hindi. And not to say one is better or otherwise. It was just this. And in general, I think it's a South Indian trait ki even people who have a lot of money don't dress that way. They still had their ambassador for many years. I think it's just a psychology of the place.
It's the cultural thing.
Yes. Yeah.
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 But it's a lovely way to think that you should be humble in the face of art.
Always. Because we are merely vessels. And the minute we start to think that we are the conduit of any kind, we receive through various conduits. That conduit can be spirituality, it can be your director, it can be a good script, it can be a good song, whatever. But we receive and then spread out. We are not ever going to play that part. We can never be the umbilical cord. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
When did you come to this conclusion?
Always.
Always?
Yes. Because I think learning Hindustani music and learning music very young and working with people in very close, because on a movie set 400 log hote hain, ye wo, it's a very fleeting interaction. But when you work with a band, when you work with musicians in a studio, it's 4, 3, 2 people for hours on end, realizing that we all have to just know our bit. No one can be better than the other, even unintentionally. To project that, you can't, because it's a very stark and lonely environment for musicians.
Really?
Yes, I think it's a lot of fun, but even when I write, it's full, it's very much internalized. And then we go to other people who are learning it to internalize and externalize. And then we all have to play our bits, because unlike other forms of art, where there's a lot open to interpretation, the wrong note is the wrong note. A bum note is a bum note. And there are no excuses for your bum note. So there's always that feeling of humility with musicians that I've always felt.
Yeah.
So that is my training, I think.
And that would carry over when you're in
Yes.
cinema as well.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And the scale of a movie set it did not give me the feeling of, la, main aa gayi. Now I'm here. No, it made me even more humble.
Yeah.
कि कितने लोग कर रहे हैं.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you said at the beginning, Shruti, that there's no celebration, there's more work.
Yes.
What are you working on?
So now, immediately, tomorrow, day after, I get into the studio with my band and we write for hours and hours to get it right. Then we go into rehearsals. In the meantime, I have some other performances as well as prepping for a new film, all at the same time.
How lovely.
Yes,
I mean, that sounds like fun.
it is.
Tell me about this writing process.
Yes.
Where does inspiration come from?
Mostly when I'm writing without topic or not for composing for something specific, it's usually very much what it used to be, what I'm going through, and the music used to be the processing of it. Now, with time and age and experience, I collect a lot of material through the journeys I'm going through, and then I collate them all and I decide what do I want to give arms, legs, and a voice to. And that's also a form of therapy for me, So, but it's a very lonely process. I sit by myself in my empty house with my cat and my piano, and I don't know where the time goes, usually at night. And then I bring in my fellow musicians, and then it just starts to get really fun. And we collaborate and we add layers and music production. And then I get really revved up and excited. Yeah.
Do you ever bounce scripts or characters off of Kamal sir?
No,
Never.
not for a while.
How come?
First of all, the level at which he operates, it's really hard for others to make movies at. So he starts giving me ideas that I can never incorporate in my script, and it makes me feel a little bad, honestly. Okay, this is how it was in the beginning. After a point as well, honestly, ma'am, he's been so busy.
Yeah.
it's difficult. I just kind of give him a gist of what I'm doing. And I think I don't remember the last time I actually told him this is my character. This I don't even remember. Like, he didn't even know anything about Cooley's story till it came out.
So he would see Coolie like the rest of us?
Yes.
What did he say?
I don't know if he's seen it yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he would, I
Right,
suppose.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So and that's just the way you're more comfortable. That taking your own decisions and
Yeah, and even with his movies, I know a very vague one line, and I also watch it like everyone else.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
a difference we've just kept without having discussed it.
does it make you stronger,
Yes,
Hannah?
yes,
It just gives you that independence.
yes, it does.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, when I interviewed him before Thug Life, he said to me that the next generation will be taller than us because they'll be standing on my shoulders. And I thought that was so lovely. And he said that, and I want that. I want them to stand on my shoulders and be taller.
He didn't say that when I was a teenager wearing heels, but okay. No, I'm kidding.
Do you have, even though you don't use him as a bouncing board
Yes.
and as an advisor, do you feel you're standing on his shoulders?
I feel that a lot of us, and I'm not saying this because he's my dad, we owe a lot to him
Yeah.
because he has dedicated his mind and his time and his love to this craft in a way that I haven't seen many people do. He lives for this stuff. And another thing he has is he's still an audience. He sits, watches web series, documentaries, Tamil films, Malayalam films, Bengali films, you name it. He'll be like, Ye dekha tumne? Ida patiya? This person, and he's so excited to call you and tell you he loved your movie, he loved this person's performance. No age bar, no race, gender, nothing. He is so steeped in appreciating art.
Yeah.
And that is so inspiring for all of us to see in an environment where you're like, usne kya kar liya, main bhi.
Yeah.
Everyone's become like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, bhai, just do your work, na, you know? And in that environment, to have someone who's should, but for all intents and purposes, be completely jaded is the opposite of it, who's still like a child,
Yeah.
who's still fascinated, who's ready to keep falling and keep getting back up, and who truly appreciates other artists is something we're all, standing on in his energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I completely agree.
Yes.
I think when he likes something, and when you interview him, the references are like,
Yes.
I'm like, wait, what? Like
Yeah.
he's just tossing them, it's just, and you have to keep up with him because he's seen so much.
Yes.
I mean, it's an incredible thing.
Yes.
One last question.
Ji.
Is there, Shruti, like you said, that it is a very male space, right? Especially when you go into big theatrical movies, it is mostly about men right now killing each other, right?
Historically, but yes,
Yeah, I mean,
with a better background score now.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So, in that space, as somebody who's also an independent singer, right? So, you have one career where you're completely the boss. You create, you compose, you put it out there, and it's on your own terms. And then you have this other career where everybody is subject to market conditions, right?
Yes.
What is the negotiation between that?
I'm very disciplined in my mind. There are many Shrutis, and I'm disciplined, and that's the only way I can really express it. Because yes, when I do a song like Monster Machine, or I do a song where I cast Lokesh in email, which is about relationships, those rules of what I play in characters, they don't apply. I have a freedom and I am the boss. Yes. And I enjoy that role very much. Not because I get to boss over people, but because I'm a dutiful person by nature. So I like that sense of responsibility ki sab theek se karna hai. And then I switch into this where I am not the boss and it is not my set. I am a cog in this large machinery. I'm very good at playing both parts. And I think that, but I also feel when you said films today are about this testosterone heavy. Films also represent a state of emotion in society, and society, as you know. And I think we're also going through one of the most patriarchal times. And people aren't articulating that, because you also see the rise of feminism on this side and women's liberation on this side. But it's also one of the most masculine times. I'm using my words very carefully, you know. And we as women are navigating that as well. And men are having their own battles of navigating
Of course.
this time, which is why you see certain movies that really emphasize this need to be masculine, which I respect from that point of view. So, in that context, I also look at an Indian woman as a very special breed of woman, because I think this navigating of one place where you're the boss and one place where you're the cog in the machinery, I think nobody does it like us. I really believe this. And I'm sure you relate to that
Yep.
as an Indian woman.
Yeah.
And I think furthermore, as I get more creative and I can be a boss more in the space of not just independent music, but expanding beyond music videos, hopefully films, hopefully writing, is to pick on these nuances and all these parameters we have amongst each other as women of what one woman is supposed to be, which has really become so convoluted for everybody. But it's also such an exciting artistic space, because I can see, so my eyes are just sparkling with all these possibilities of how many women don't have a story yet, and a movie yet, and a song yet. And I think this is the most exciting time in my life, where I'm now having the courage to maybe put voice to some of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's lovely. Thank you, and cannot wait to see you more
Thank
boss
you.
roles.
Thank you. But as I said, I'm a good cog. Yes.
You are a good cog. You're definitely a good cog. And hey, listen, it serves. You have to do the cogging to get to the bossing.
Yes.
Right.
And even the bossings have to do the cogging, as you
Correct,
know.
correct.
Yes.
Absolutely.
This is a weird conversation.
But we know what we're saying.
I hope they know. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was such a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Shruti Hassan, and you're watching me on the Hollywood Reporter India. Please subscribe.